Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're going to be looking at how to create a cog in Illustrator. Alright, before we get started, you should actually know how to open up the program. What you could do is you can just go to your Start menu, just click on your Start button over here, then type in Illustrator, and you see it appearing on your screen. If you click on it, it will open it up. But I already had it open, so I'll just go ahead and click here. And I want to start off with a new file, and to do so I'll go to File at the top, click on New, and I will want to make sure that I have this in millimeters. So I'll just click on millimeters over here. Let's imagine I've got a work field of 500 by, let's say 300, like that, in millimeters, and I can give it a fitting name, like for instance cog version 1, something like that. Just click on OK, I can get going. Alright, so we can see that we've got a white work space in front of us. You might have different buttons on the right, and so what we should do to make sure that everything's the same, you'll have to go towards Window and then Workspace and then click on Tracing. Now your program is probably in Dutch, so you'll have to look for the translation of all of these. The translation of the one you're looking for in this drop down menu here is probably going to be Illustratie, but you'll just have to find that. Now, why we want to have this workspace is simply because we want to have this button over here, this one, for Pathfinder. We also want to work with the layers, but I'll tell you why in a short bit. Now, going to the left, you'll probably have a rectangular shape over here. We want to right click on that, and then we want to select the ellipse tool. Click with the left mouse button, and there we go. Now, when we start off on our field, I'll just draw a circle. You can see that we can draw one relatively easily in all different kinds of forms. And let's imagine I made a mistake here. Now, this is not at all what I want, and so I can go back a step by pressing on Ctrl and then Z. And as I do that, every time I use this combination, I can go one step back. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a perfect circle. I want to have it exactly a certain width and exactly a certain height. What I could do is I click on the field, just left click once, and I get this kind of a menu over here. I can say that I want to have it exactly, let's say 40 millimeters wide and 40 millimeters high. That would be a fine circle. Then I can do the same thing again, left clicking over here, 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters. There we go. Now, as you can see, I'm now creating these perfect circles, but there is another way to do it. And what I could do is I just click with my left mouse button, and as I drag down, I can see that I'm getting, a width and a height that's different. But if I use my shift key on my keyboard, I can see that the height and the width is now perfectly intact. It is perfectly in ratio. What I could also do is I can left click with Alt and Shift on my keyboard, and then I will start from the position I am with my cursor, and then I'll start here, which is a little bit different than when I only have Shift, because if I start there and I go to the bottom, I do not have it originate from where my cursor is. See the difference right here? Okay, so you can try something out with that if you want. I'll just create a couple of circles. I want to have one over here, start off from the middle, and create quite a big one like that, and create another one from the middle, and Shift and Alt, and create one that's just a tiny bit smaller than that. Now, if I go to my layers to the bottom right, and I can drop down this menu, I can see that I've got two different things created. I've got one that is on top over here, and I've got another one. If I click on this, I selected a different one because it now became a blue selection. This is the different shape. So two different shapes. As I can alternate between these, I can also see that I'm selecting different things. Now, I want to have a different shape as well. Go to my shapes over here, right click, go towards the star, click on the middle over here, and just click once, and as I can see, I can just change the radiuses of my star. You can just play around with this. I'll say I want to have about 32 points. Click on OK and just see what I've got. Now, this thing is not big enough. What I want to do is I want to go towards the selection tool, and I can see that I've got a kind of like a binding box around it. And if I click on it with my Alt, I just made a mistake there, and we'll create it again. There we go. Just use the wrong key there. Go towards my selection tool. Now if I select it right now and hold Alt, I can actually make it a little bit bigger. Hold Shift and I can make it bigger again. And what I will want to do is I want to now select my two different shapes and combine them. Shift click over here. So I've got both of these shapes selected. And I will go towards my Pathfinder, which is with this button over here. And I want to go towards Unite. Because what I do over here is if I click on this, I will start uniting the shapes I've got selected. And so showing that, you can actually see it happens right in front of our eyes. Now, if you're not happy with the result, you can just go back by pressing on Ctrl Z. You can make, for instance, this circle a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, whatever you want. Now, I want to have this actually united. Then I want to select both of these things, shift click both of them, and I want to have the kind of like the intersection of these two different shapes. I want to only have the part remaining, which is kind of like the overlapping area of these two different shapes. And we've got a button over here that is actually kind of symbolizing this effect, and it's called the intersect of Pathfinder. And so if I click on this, I will cut away everything that is not an intersection, and this is actually almost a perfect cog. Now, we've got one part remaining, and that's actually creating a hole for your cylinder, for your kind of like your cylinder that is going to be attached to the cog. And so I go towards the ellipse tool, I click once, and I just give it the amount of millimeters I want it to be. Now you can measure this for the cylinder you're going to be using. We've got several kinds. And so for instance, I'll give this 4 millimeters wide, 4 millimeters high, and I'll press an OK. And what I will immediately see, just use the selection tool, click here. What I will immediately see is that it's not perfectly aligned in the middle. And so what I want to do is I want to select both of them and then go towards Align. And then I want to have both of them perfectly in the middle like that and perfectly in the middle like that. And now this is a cog which is fully functional. We can use the laser to cut it out from the wood. Now I can create another one, just Ctrl C, Ctrl V, put it right next to the one we've already got, and you can already imagine that we can get these cogs moving quite easily. Now with that being said, this is just creating two different cogs. You can make the hole a little bit bigger, you can give it more points, you can make the points a little bit longer, whatever you want. Just try and think how these cogs are going to be fitting together, and if the cylinders are actually fitting your hole in your design. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good luck, you can do it, and well, this was basically it. Besides, one more thing, if you want to actually save your work, you have to put it on a USB stick. You go towards File, and you click on Save As, and then you navigate towards your USB stick and save it on there. Alright, good luck.